Okay, this video is to help you guys that are not at school get started on the probability and likelihood um, slide lesson. Okay, follow along. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, the probability of an event happening. Okay, we're going to use and I know you've seen a little bit of this last year, but we're going to use the definition number of favorable outcomes over the number of total outcomes. We're going to use that idea to figure out the probability, okay, the likelihood that something will happen. Okay, we'll do slides 2, 3, 4, and 5 together, and then I'll have you guys finish this. But I want to make sure you get on a good start. Okay, here's an example. What's the probability of flipping heads if you flip a coin? Okay, think of favorable outcomes over total outcomes. Okay, but we're going to write these as a fraction, a decimal, and a percentage. Okay, so the fraction, okay, number of favorable outcomes. Okay, there's only one heads out of two possibilities, heads and tails. So one heads, that's the favorable. Okay, two total outcomes, because when you flip a coin, it could be heads or tails. So that's two total outcomes. Okay, so we're going to take that probability of 1/2. We have a 1 out of 2 chance of flipping heads. Okay, we're going to make that into a decimal. To change a fraction to a decimal, you just take the top divided by the bottom. Okay, some of you already know that 1/2 would be 0.5. Okay, to change a decimal into a percentage, you simply move the decimal point 2 spaces to the right. Okay, my decimal point's right in front of the 5. I'm going to move it once to get me in front after the 5, I'm sorry. And a second time, I need to go an additional space, so I need to stick a 0 in there. So I'm going to move it 2 to the right, makes that 50, and I'm going to add a percentage sign. Okay, so 1/2 is equal to 0.5 as a decimal. It's equal to 50% as a percentage. So I have a 50% chance of flipping heads when I toss a coin. Okay, number 2. What is the probability for rolling a 2 on a standard 6-sided die? Okay, so favorable outcomes over total outcomes. Okay, there's 6 outcomes. Okay, because you could roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6. So there's 6 total outcomes. Okay, but there's only one favorable. Okay, there's only one dice that's rolling a 2. 1 out of 6 chance. Okay, now I'm asking you, would this be considered a likely or unlikely event? Okay, it would be unlikely. I mean, it's possible, but chances are you're not going to roll a 2. Okay, slide 4, because I wanted you to think about being unlikely or likely, because we're going to be looking at the probability likelihood line. Okay, a probability, back up for a minute. Remember that 1/2 probability of 1/2 for flipping heads? Okay, that was a 50% probability, or a 1/2 probability. Okay, so that's like a 50-50 chance. So we're going to say that that's neither unlikely or likely. Okay, that's right in the middle. But any probability that's greater than 1/2, we'll talk about 1 and 0 in a minute, greater than 1/2 would be likely, and a probability like 1/6, like the problem we did a second ago, would be an unlikely event. Okay, so we have 1/2 to be neither unlikely nor likely. To be less than 1/2 would be unlikely. A probability greater than 1/2 would be likely. Now, a probability of 0, okay, that means it ain't going to happen. Okay, it is impossible. And a probability of 1 means it's certain to happen. I think as you do some examples, I think you'll see why. And maybe think of it this way. Think of it as a percentage, maybe. If you have a probability of 1, that's a 100% chance. So if you have a probability of 100%, okay, that means it's going to happen. If you have a probability of 0%, that means there's 0% chance it'll happen. That means it's impossible. Okay, let's go to slide 5. Okay, a spinner has 10 equally sized sectors. What is the probability of spinning a 5? Okay, so for the start off here, favorable outcomes, total outcomes. Okay, how many favorable outcomes are there if we want to spin a 5? Okay, that's just one outcome, a 5. Okay, the total outcomes, okay, if you have 10 sections, 10 is the total outcomes. So you have 1 in 10 chance of spinning the 5. So 1/10 is a fraction. If you take 1 divided by 10, you'd get 0.1. Okay, that's just taking the top number divided by the bottom number. To change a decimal into a percent, move the decimal point 2 to the right and add a percentage sign. So I'm going to move the decimal point once to the right, gets me past the 1. The second time I have to add a 0. So 10, and then add a percent sign. So I have a 10% chance of spinning a 5. Okay, 1 in 10 chance. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this right here is a 5 in 10. So 1 in 10 would be about there. Okay, so since that is to the left of 1/2 and it's not quite 0, okay, that would be an unlikely event. If I have a 10% chance of spinning a 5, okay, and there's 100% possible, right? 10% chance isn't very good. Okay, that would be an unlikely event. Hey guys, do your best on this. Go back to the slides we just talked about. Let me know if you have any questions at all. But you're basically just doing more, okay, of the same. You're going to have 3 slides with problems where you find the probability as a fraction, decimal, and percentage, and place a dot, about where it would be on the number line. Okay, then underneath, you want to drag up. Are these impossible? Okay, are they possible? Are they neither? Are they certain? Okay, or impossible? Okay, so there's some of those. Okay, there's slides for 1, 2, and 3. I mean, for 7, 8, and 9. And then there's a few more at the end. Okay, I need to get that back in there. But there's another slide of just statements. You just want to drag up. Oh, here it comes. So they're not giving you number lines and such. They're just giving you a sentence. And you want to figure out, are these likely or unlikely or certain? Okay, whatever all those possibilities down there. You want to drag those up. So you should be dragging six things up for that slide. Okay, let me know how you're doing. Keep me posted. I want to help you if you have any questions at all.